5 NBA players who fell off super quick. Subscribe to the channel and comment down below saying I subscribed to enter this month's shoutout giveaway. Stephon Marbury.
Mid-court, launching, it's there!
Career years, 1997 to 2009. Teams, Timberwolves, Nets, Suns, Knicks, and Celtics. Career stats, 19.3 points per game, 7.6 assists per game, 3 rebounds per game, 1.2 steals per game. Reason for fall off, selfishness. Marbury cared more about his stats than he did about winning. Once he would get his 8 to 10 assists, he wouldn't pass the ball for the rest of the night. That's not a good trait for a point guard. At one point, he and Oscar Robertson were the only players to average 20 points and 8 assists for their career. He was drafted by the Timberwolves to play alongside Kevin Garnett. However, he became unhappy after Garnett signed a monster 6-year $126 million contract extension in 1998. Marbury wanted the same deal, but instead he was traded to the Nets in a 3-team deal involving the Bucks for Terrell Brandon. He then played for several other teams, including his hometown Knicks. His time in New York was supposed to be a great one, but he bumped heads with Isaiah Thomas over the famous sexual harassment case and was eventually let go. Every team that he left got better, but at least he can call himself a champion in China. Anton Walker.
For some reason this year, Tommy, their first quarter they've exploded. They've scored 61 more points than the opponent.
Career years, 1996 to 2008. Teams, Celtics, Mavericks, Hawks, Heat, and Timberwolves. Career stats, 17.5 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, 7.7 rebounds per game, 1.2 steals per game. Reason for fall off? Lack of interest. Few have fallen as far as Anton Walker has over the last decade. Back in 1999, Walker signed a $71 million contract with the Celtics, and then coach Rick Pitino said he will never have to worry about money ever again in his life. Walker would go on to average 19.9 points per game over the next 6 seasons, but beginning the 2005-2006 season, his numbers began to decline. 12 points per game only, 12 points per game, and only 19 starts that season. A 5-team, 13-player deal in the 2005 offseason sent Walker to Miami, where he would win his first and only ring with D-Wade, Shaq, and company. His role in South Beach diminished over the 2 seasons as he failed to adjust to becoming a bench player. His average shooting went from 43.5% in 2005 to 2006 to just 36.3% in 2007 and 2008. His final year in the league, after leaving the league, Walker's troubles would only grow larger. In 2009, he was charged with a DUI and 3 felony counts of writing bad checks in an attempt to pay debts to a Las Vegas casino. He pled guilty to 1 felony charge, avoiding jail time, but agreeing to work out a plan to pay back the debt. He blew all the $110 million he made in his career, and last year he was waived by the D-League's Idaho Stampede. Allen Iverson.
Now he's got Stockton, he breaks his ankles, and he got it!
Career years, 1997 to 2010. Teams, 76ers, Nuggets, Pistons, Grizzlies. Career stats, 26.7 points per game, 6.2 assists per game, 3.7 rebounds per game, 2.2 steals per game. Reason for fall off? Refusing to change. The fans still want AI. Unfortunately, he officially announced his retirement this summer. While Kobe was the best player in the world, Iverson was the people's champ, kind of like Big E and Pac. However, he was criticized his entire career for his selfish play, but one thing they couldn't criticize was his heart. His shot selection was questionable, but his heart wasn't, and that's what the fans loved about him. The NBA changed the dress code because of him, and David Stern ended up his brief rap career as Jules. When AI signed with the Grizzlies during the 2009 offseason, he had intentions of starting. However, coach Lionel Hollins had different plans, which led to this beautiful microcosm of Iverson's career. Sean Kemp.
He goes back to get it, fires it cross court, Kemp's got it right up into the alley, power slam!
Career years, 1990 to 2003. Teams, Supersonics, Cavaliers, Trailblazers, Magic. Career stats, 14.6 points per game, 1.6 assists per game, 8.4 rebounds per game, 1.1 steals per game, and 1.1 blocks per game. Reason for fall off? Drugs and alcohol. Over his 14 years in the NBA, most of which were spent with the Supersonics, Sean Kemp established himself as one of the game's premier bigs. He still remains one of the best dunkers ever, and YouTube highlight reels will bring tears to your eyes. Despite only playing 1 season with Orlando at the end of his career, during the 2002-2003 season, Kemp had lined up what looked like to be a promising comeback attempt before the start of the 2005-2006 season. Unfortunately, Kemp never showed up for that tryout with the Mavericks, and the chance went by the wayside. To make matters worse, Kemp was arrested in April of 2005 for an investigation of drug possession, a charge Kemp would later plead guilty to. Such a shame. Ben Wallace.
Championship teams, the coach, Chuck Daly, Bill Lambier is here tonight. And then
Career years 1997 to 2012. Teams: the Bullets or the Wizards, Magic, Pistons, Bulls, Cavaliers. Career stats: 5.7 points per game, 1.3 assists per game, 9.6 rebounds per game, 1.3 steals per game, and 2 blocks per game. Reason for fall off: injuries. Ben Wallace came and went. Prior to being the 4th-time Defensive Player of the Year, Wallace played 3 uneventful seasons with the Wizards and 1 with the Magic. During his time in Detroit though, he was the anchor in the middle for one of the best teams of the 2000s. Larry Brown's Pistons teams were all about teamwork, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals 6 years in a row between 2003 and 2008. With no surefire stars, Big Ben was the closest. His defense and rebounding changed the outcome of many games, and he parlayed that into a fat 4-year $60 million deal with the division rival Chicago Bulls. He averaged 10 boards in his only year there and was traded halfway through his second. Wallace was never the same again, as injuries and age caught up with him. It was fun while it lasted. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them. With that, I'll see you in the next video.